Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mandt Lodge, Sons of Norway. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Well, welcome to the lodge. We're down here at least to tape the virtual meeting. We are gathered together to celebrate the heritage and culture of Norway, both past and present. We're also here to enjoy the fellowship that is a vital part of our lodge. So welcome, everyone, to another virtual meeting of Sons of Norway Mandt Lodge. It's pretty quiet down here, and you can probably hear the echoes and so forth, but just as nice to be in this space again, and I wish the rest of you were here as well. We'll dispense with the singing of the three national anthems, but tonight we do need to drape our charter in memory of Larry Stenner. Larry Arno Stenner of Stoughton, Wisconsin, passed away peacefully on September 10, 2020. He fought fiercely against Parkinson's disease until the very end, always saying, "God never gives you more than you can handle." He was born on October 9, 1955 in Boscoville, Wisconsin, to Douglas and Cleo Haney Stenner. To every person he met, he was a positive, understanding, caring, and patient person. He grew up with his mother and brothers in Lancaster, then moved to Madison to continue his education in truss design and sales of homes and commercial buildings. In his spare time, he found a love for coaching his grandchildren. In 1984, he married the love of his life, Sandy, and had 36 wonderful years together. Larry was an outstanding father and husband. However, as a grandfather, he achieved hero status. He was at every sporting event and was typically found coaching, whether it was swimming, cross country, football, baseball, track, lacrosse, wrestling, or softball. He was there with a smile and a cheer. He encouraged everyone to always have fun and to try their hardest. He never expected anything but your best. Larry is preceded in death by his father, Douglas Stenner, father and mother-in-law, John and Leila Harris, and his grandson, Jacob. He is survived by his wife, Sandra, mother, Cleo, children, Jennifer, Clinton, and Blair, grandchildren, Zachary, Peyton, Alexandra, Bailey, Savannah, and Tobias, Colton and Marley, Lila and Bo, and his great-grandchildren, Bentley, Zaylin, Kendall, and Evelyn, and also brothers Albert and Richard, brother-in-law Jean, sister-in-law Diane, and many nieces, nephews, and cousins. A public visitation was held with social distancing on Saturday, September 19th. So we'll take a minute to honor and memorial Larry Stenner. And our deepest sympathy to Sandra and her family. So it has been another interesting month. We certainly appreciate everyone who turned in surveys this past month. That was the bulk of our discussion last week on our October meeting. And I am going to share my screen. And let's see, just give me a second. And we'll get started here. And here's a picture of Larry as well. So last week on our meeting, we had a number of events updates. The Scrapbook and Craft weekend has been canceled. They had a number of people interested, only a few that signed up, and concerns about being, in a closed space and so forth for over a weekend. So we are going to cancel that and hopefully be able to reschedule that sometime soon. Destination Stoughton is typically the last weekend of Stoughton. In Stoughton, are usually focused around the Wisconsin State Rosemuller sale, which I am not aware that that's happening. So there are going to be limited events that weekend. We did hear that NAGC, the Norwegian American Genealogical Center, and Neseth Library is doing an online seminar on October 31st. So we will be sending out that information to our members, and I believe Dana Kelly has posted it as well. So we encourage you to take advantage of that. Also, I would guess that the downtown stores are going to be having some events, or at least be open. So watch for their hours, and I'm trying to get information from everyone to put together the flyers. So I'll get that sent out as soon as possible. I understand trick-or-treating won't be a chamber event this year. due to liability concerns, but I haven't heard what the city is doing. So that might be something that's happening that weekend as well. So event updates. We decided to cancel the November bake sale. We had quite a bit of discussion, and there were people that responded on the survey who would be interested in making food, but we have a lot of Dane County restrictions. Our biggest restriction is the number of people, and then there are a whole new set of COVID restrictions and regulations and new procedures and so forth that we have to do for food handling. And at this time, we felt that the liability, first of all, with the food going out, the safety of our members and volunteers, and then just trying to logistically do that, we thought it might be best to take a break. And I'll talk a little bit about the baking and so forth later. We also got word from the Dane County Health Department. We emailed them specifically about bingo, and the response was that if bingo is inside the building, we are limited to 10 people or less, plus our workers. But we almost need 10 workers, plus the 10 people that would be in there would make a really, really limited event. And again, for the safety of people, we decided to cancel it for the rest of the year, and we'll just have to see what happens in early 2021. We won't have November, December in-person business or program meetings. We'll continue to use Zoom for our business meetings the first Wednesday of the month. We will go to the first Thursday of the month in December. I know some of the churches are doing online services, and I'm not sure what they're doing for Advent. So we will keep our usual going to Thursdays in December for those meetings. But it is Foundation Month. We do have a few things going on, and we have a lot going on for Foundation Month. So exciting. We have an online auction that started last Sunday morning at noon, and it goes until Saturday, October 17th, this coming Saturday at 12 noon. We are using the 32 auction website. We have 37 wonderful items with a goal of raising $1,500, and I'm pleased to announce we're well over $1,000 so far, so that's pretty exciting. The auction link is 32auctions.com. SN Mandt Foundation 2020. So when you click on that link, it will take you to the auction. You can look at all the items and so forth, but in order to bid, you will need to log in. We chose the option of having people pay by cash or check when they pick up the items. And so you don't need to enter any credit card information. If you participated like in the Stoughton Hospital Foundation's auction, they use the same website. So it may be you have some of that information in already. This is what the website looks like when you get there, and it's got all 37 of our items and so forth on there, and you can scroll down. We have what the minimum bid is, what the person who donated gave us as an estimated value. All the bidding increments are by $5, and we still have a few items that still need to get a bid and so forth, but I think, I think you'll have some fun with that, and these are some more of the items. We have some beautiful handicrafts that our lodges have made, some beautiful rose mulling and carving and hardanger and weaving, and we've got lots of really cool masks and so forth that were donated by a friend of a member. We have some Longaburger baskets. We have some liquor baskets and so forth. So if you're bidding on those, please be over 21 so I don't have to ID you when you come. We have a great picture too that Katie Maurer did of some gnomes and COVID for Christmas. So lots of really cool things. So again, that's going to close on Saturday at noon, and then people can pick up the items at our house and pay at that time, or we can make arrangements. I prefer not to mail anything. Like the gift certificates would be fine to mail. We have wonderful chamber gift certificates and some Menards cards and so on. But the other items, it would probably cost some of our profit in shipping those and so forth. So we encourage you to come and pick them up. If you decide you don't want to participate in the auction, or you have enough stuff, or there isn't something that catches your eye, remember there was a foundation donation envelope in the last Viking magazine, and we encourage you to take advantage of that and send that in and help support the Sons of Norway Foundation. Other updates, because at Mann Lodge we are not sitting idle despite the pandemic. We have a number of things that have happened in the past month. We collected coats for kids. We we thought this would be a great community service project. And since a lot of people have been cleaning out their closets and so forth, it's something that could be helpful to do. We collected 27 coats, 20 scarves, 24 pairs of gloves and mittens, 35 hats, and 12 pieces of outerwear. So I took them up to Clinky's on Monona Drive and turned them in, and they were pleased to get them. Their goal was over 5,000 items, so I haven't had a chance to see. This is a Channel 15 sponsored event, and so we really had some fun with that, and it was nice and very generous of everyone to do that. We also are selling decks of playing cards, so one of our lodge members, Diane Mauer, has had one of the winning photos, so she has her submitted photo on one of the cards, so they sell for $10. We did one order of 40 and sold all of those. We got another order of 20. I still have 11 decks of those, so I have them out at the house. So again, if you want any, just let me know and I can arrange a pickup. They're $10 a deck, and the checks can be made out to Sons of Norway Mandt Lodge. So the COVID survey results, I wanted to go through what you shared with us and so forth. We had 59 responses, so thank you for sharing your ideas and input and suggestions. We asked if you participated in the Zoom business meetings. 22 said yes, 37 said no. Have you watched any of the YouTube Lodge meetings? We had 7 who said yes, some of them 21, and none 31. So we're hoping to increase that number a little bit. And keep in mind, I should go back to the business meeting, that anyone is welcome to participate in the business meetings. They're not just officer meetings, they're for any of the lodge members. And we send out that meeting resource packet before each one of the meetings that has, you know, the agenda and the draft of the minutes, financial reports, the calendar, all the items we're going to discuss, if there's some background information. And so we really encourage you to be a part of that. If we had in-person business meetings, would you be interested in coming? 19 said yes, 16 said no, 24 said maybe. So we were definitely split right across the board on those. And if we had an increase in gathering numbers for lodge meetings following restrictions and guidelines, would you feel comfortable? 23 said yes, 20 said no, 16 said maybe. So again, a pretty big split, or pretty evenly split, I should say, and that there wasn't a clear cut, yes, we want to come back for meetings, or no, that people's feelings were quite mixed on that. Are you interested in small groups? Well, finally, we got something that many of you said that you were. So here are the results of those. We had 17 interested in some type of book group or virtual group. We had 5 interested in carving, 9 knitters, 8 rose mauling, 5 scrapbooking, 20 who signed up for walking or hiking, 20 for Coob, 13 for pickleball, that made Alan Chia smile, 10 for Hardanger, 24 for watching movies, 14 for trimming stamps, 28 for Norwegian language. I think that was our biggest vote getter. And other ideas were Norwegian and community presentations. We also asked about if we, could figure out a way to do it. How many of you were interested in helping with baking? 15 said for donuts, 29 for lefse, and 17 for cookies. And have you watched the District 5 weekly Nordic news programs? 1 person has watched all of them, 13 said some, and 44 said none. And so again, that's another area that we'd really like to get more members involved in watching and so forth. And so as we look at planning some small group activities and so forth, we need to follow the Dane County restrictions and the COVID-19, what their guidelines and rules are and so forth. Our biggest obstacles, again, is that inside we can only have 10 people in this building, outdoor 25. We have explored whether or not we can have our building kind of qualified with what our maximum attendance is, so that we could be under a percentage. And so we're still looking into that, but currently this is what we're living with. we decided we will not do any food preparation events or classes. We may try to look at doing something with that, but nothing that we would be selling. We did sell out all our freezer items, so the freezers are empty. But there was discussion about whether people signed up because they wanted to help make lefse donuts and so forth for a fundraiser, if they wanted to sign up because they wanted to learn how, if they just wanted to sign up to see other people. So we are going to do some checking into that and find out, on just looking at the names, some are regulars that help with lefse and donuts, especially some with some of the cookies, and it may be that we can figure out ways, whether it's doing some videos, whether it's doing some small groups that want to get together and bake together. But again, taking those products home that they're just getting together to teach others or to socialize a little bit. But it will not be for any sales, at least until after the first of the year. So how we kind of envision going about organizing the small groups and so forth is we're going to start with that group who responded to the survey and in the different categories. First of all, it gives us a list of names that we know are interested in those different activities. And then, so what we want to ask are, do you want to meet virtually? Do you want to meet in person? Obviously some of these things, the walking and pickleball and so forth are in-person events, but things such as the book clubs and even some of the hardanger, the knitting and so forth, how exactly do you envision? How often do you want to meet? And I'm going to use the walkers. Is it something you want to meet twice a week in front of the lodge and go for a walk here in town? Do you want to meet on Saturdays and go to some parks or walking trails or things like that? Also, is the activity new for you? Are you at a beginning level for knitting or rose mauling? Is it something that you've done before, but you just want to be together with other people or to learn some new techniques? So, and then also we're going to be looking for someone who could be the small group coordinator for this group. So once we kind of connect the people who signed up for knitting, we hope that they can kind of, as a small group, decide what they want to do and have somebody who kind of takes the lead. If they do need to use space down here at the lodge, they can work with me in the calendar and we can go over the cleaning procedures that need to be done and to move forward that way. So that's how we're kind of envisioning some of that. Once we have the plan, then we can publicize the details with other members. Again, we have to watch our numbers. So as you noticed, a number of these are over 10 people, a number are under as well. So they could easily meet at the lodge, the ones that are under 10. Some may want to only do it outside, or some don't mind being inside. Some might want to meet during the day. Some might want to meet at night. Some might want to meet during the weekday or weeknights or weekends. So I think a lot is just going to be on what they want to get out of it, what they feel comfortable in doing, and then how they want to socialize and so forth. So I know we've had tremendous success with our baking classes with lefse and so forth, and the cookie classes, but at this time we will limit it to Mandt Lodge members only, because again, just with the number restrictions, our goal is to get activities and involvement for our members so we can, be reaching out to everyone that way. We also have a great library. I spent some time kind of organizing things. We have books organized by subject and some by authors and so on. We have VCR tapes. If you still got a VCR player at home, we've got plenty of tapes for you to watch. And we also have a number of really good DVDs. So you can either schedule a time that I can meet you or other officers or somebody with a key can meet you. If you have a key, all the items have cards in them. So simply fill out your name and the date and put it in the little rose mold box that's at the end of the library. And when you bring it back, you take the card out of the box and put it back in and put it back where it belongs. And it's a pretty simple, straightforward process. The DVDs are locked in the black cabinet. So if you need to get those, obviously they're a little more expensive and so forth. So we we keep those locked up, but we have a lot of great resources down here that we encourage you to take advantage of. You know, the Norwegian reading is one of the cultural skills medals that we hope that you take advantage of, and so this is a great time, especially going into the fall and so forth, to take advantage of that. We're hoping to have the family Christmas event with some modifications. The date is supposed to be Saturday, December 12th, and I think we're going to be sticking with that. As of the latest, kind of the plan is to have everything outside. We have talked to the person who has been our Santa, and he is Santa is comfortable with being around kids. We've talked about perhaps a plexiglass barrier that could give some protection to both Santa as well as the kids. We would not have the breakfast bake sale or crafts. We can socially distance the Santa visits. We, instead of us taking the pictures, will ask parents to take their own pictures on their own devices. We are going to pre-pack or pre-bag all the gift bags for the dollar store. And so I think the plan is to have like a mom's table and a dad's table and a siblings table, and everything's $1. So we will just make sure whatever goes in there is at least worth $1, which a lot of them are worth a lot more than that because of your generosity. And so so that's kind of the plan there. And we also talked about pre-packaging some craft kits that they can take home and do the crafts at home. So we're really hoping to make this happen. We're hoping it's a decent day and that we can be outside. It's not bitter cold or blowing and so forth. But probably in the back of the lodge, maybe having Santa underneath the pergola in that area, and maybe even setting up, like one of our bigger tents with the open sides that we can put the tables on with the gift bags and so forth. So that's kind of the plan at this point in time. We also are hosting the American Red Cross Blood Drive on Tuesday, December 22nd, just a few days before Christmas. The scheduled hours are 10:30 to 4:30, so we'll probably need our volunteers on the first shift there no later than 10 o'clock. They have to teach us the procedures, for checking in people and taking temperatures and using their equipment and so on. And it's supposed to get done at 4:30. So my guess is we'll probably need 4 to 5 people per shift and probably 2 shifts that day. I haven't asked if we can bring treats, but I'm guessing probably not. The last time they had all prepackaged treats, and I just gave blood not too long ago, and that's how it still was as well. And we'd love to have you come. So we did one last spring, early summer, I think Memorial Day weekend or around there, and it was just really nice to see people. So it's always a fun thing to do. So we appreciate your help with that. We are also hoping to go EULA booking with some modifications. Our event is scheduled for Tuesday, December 29th, but I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that. We need to discuss it a little bit more. We definitely know we won't be going inside any homes or probably into any facilities. I don't think any of the nursing homes or group homes and so forth will even let us in. We won't have the social event at someone's home afterwards, so we'll miss that. Maybe we can find if some establishments are open downtown or something, we can figure out maybe an alternative social event. We'll probably break up into small groups, smaller than what we normally are, and we may just have people go when it works best for them. EULA booking is done, and EULA booking, for those of you who don't know, is kind of a combination of trick-or-treating and caroling, kind of. We take treats usually to our members, although I don't know if we'll probably be doing any treats unless we buy some prepackaged ones. But we take treats and we go to their homes and we sing. And then a good host will give us treats and alcohol for our services and so forth. So that part we're going to miss a little bit too. You may have to have something before you go out EULA booking. So we have a lot of details to finalize, but it should be done between Christmas and New Year's. So again, it may be that, 4 or 5 people want to go on one day and 4 and 5 on another, and we'll divide up that list of our members that we want to make sure that we get to their homes and bring them some holiday cheer. Other things to work on, sports medals. So we have made our, we did the district's challenge going from our town, Stoughton, up to Minneapolis, over to ring soccer, and then we walked back from ring sucker to Minneapolis and back to Stoughton. So we're done with that. That program had us measure in miles. So now what we're doing is asking you to transition from using those tracking sheets, the mile ones, to whatever sport you're working on. So some of those are tracking by hours, some by minutes, some by miles, and so on. So you can download the sheets, and I'll also be emailing out the PDF that has the various cards on. I know we have asked International about pickleball and about Cube, and they've just emailed us back what the, how many minutes and so forth are. I noticed that they had not updated those tracking cards yet for the EDRIT, which is the general fitness one. So I'm hoping that they get those done soon, but we'll send that information out. Your tracking sheets go to either Jens Arneson or Todd Fossum, our sports directors, and then we get them compiled and we'll send in for the sports medal order. And we want to congratulate Bill Hendrickson, who's a new member of our lodge. He and Jan just transferred up from Nordland. He just sent us his sheets for all 4 of the biking medals. So congratulations, Bill, on accomplishing that. We're getting that order sent in, and we're going to figure out a good way to present those medals to you. We also have then the cultural skills medals, and they had those for rose mulling and knitting and carving and Norwegian language and Norwegian cooking and reading and a whole variety. There's also some kids cultural medals. Many of these are things that you guys are doing, and it's just a matter of getting the paperwork done. And typically we say, well, we don't have time to do the paperwork, but because of the pandemic, that excuse has kind of gone away. And so if you need help with sharing or the presentation part, let us know. We can set up some little group meetings or a video or something for you to do to get that part. If you need the forms, contact me and I'll email them to you, or you can log into the members only section and find them under the cultural area. And reaching out to members is a critical part as well. I want to thank our sunshine lady, Joyce Foss, and her helper, Diane Mauer, for their cute postcards. They've had some really cute COVID ones that have been sent out. We're also, we had a suggestion about what we can do for especially our older members. And so if any of you are interested in being kind of on a team that would call members just to visit, some of the places our members live can't have visitors, or maybe they prefer not to just for the social distancing, but they would love to visit or love to get a phone call. So if you have time and would like to have a list of people to call, please contact me and we're gonna get that started. And also, if you have other suggestions that what we can do for outreach to our members, we really are trying to engage everyone in the lodge. And also watching virtual presentations. So I really, really encourage you to take a look at those weekly Nordic news that District 5 is doing. You can tune in live during the presentation on Tuesday nights. I think they start at 6:20. That way you can ask questions of the presenters and so on. But then Mike Pelichek also uploads them all to our district website. And so you can watch them anytime. So he has been doing this since early in the summer, I think late spring maybe. And there are some wonderful cultural programs. So we've kind of made the decision at the lodge. We're focusing more on Sons of Norway awareness, like on these meetings and things that you can take advantage of. And then we really encourage you to get your cultural part from the Nordic news. And again, this program that you're watching is our regular kind of lodge meeting or program meeting. I continue to tape those and post them on YouTube. Earlier, in the year, we had a Sit-in-a-My special, a Midsummer special. So I encourage you to take a look at those. And also we have other videos on our YouTube channel as well about Sons of Norway. So ironically, one of my projects during COVID was to clean the closet here at the lodge. And I ran across this trifold poster, and it was our Mandt Lodge Vision 2020 poster. And back in 2009, we had some serious discussions about the lodge. We were sitting at about 130 members. We actually considered, do we even want to keep our building, or do we want to get rid of the building, and so forth. And we had a lot of challenges, and we weren't growing, we weren't attracting young families and so forth. And we said, well, what are we going to look like in 2020? Well, nobody envisioned a pandemic, but we developed a long-range plan. We surveyed members. We went to people who had been a member and dropped their membership. We surveyed people who are Norwegian or active in the Stoughton, like Sitnamai and so forth, who had never joined, and asked why. What did they want to get out of them? We had several back porch meetings. We had just moved out to the farm after the tornado, and we'd have a few adult beverages and sit on the back porch and talk about the lodge and where do we envision it. We identified through the surveys our strengths, our weaknesses, and we started to identify what our priorities should be. We went to the lodge with a proposal on December 10th, 2009. We had a plan for our officer meetings, our lodge meetings, our meeting formats, how we were going to structure things with our membership program. We planned and prioritized and kept working hard and kept thinking, is this part of what our goal is? Is this part of our strategic plan? Each time we were adding new events or evaluating what we were doing. Membership, youth, outreach, and community involvement were priorities. And so many of you who have joined in the last 10 years might have joined because of some of those efforts. We even made the January 2010 Viking with the article, It Takes a Vision, and Back Porch Summits, where they reviewed what we were doing here at Mandt Lodge. And we were successful. At that time, we had 130 members. And I always download the complete membership list at month end. The end of September, we had 235. So we have added, 105 people in 10 years. So that is wonderful. And our goal is to continue that success. So now the challenge is, as we look towards our 100th anniversary, and that is going to be just in a few short years in 2026. We started in 1926. With John Stockstead as the first president. How do we keep things moving forward despite the pandemic? And so you will be the difference. So your involvement, your enthusiasm, your ideas, your help, your volunteer, your willingness to be a leader is going to be the key difference and so forth as we go forward. So it's just a little bit more challenging now with the pandemic, but we are certainly missing people and looking forward to seeing everybody again soon. So I'm going to stop sharing my page and we'll wrap up the meeting here. So I want to wish happy birthday and happy anniversary to everyone who's celebrating in the great month of October. We had quite a list of birthdays. So I check that meanwhile at Mandt, that monthly update. Officers and members, I thank you for tuning in to view this meeting. Our next meeting will be on Wednesday, November 11th. I'll get it posted that day. And then our Zoom business meeting will be held on November 4th. And again, everyone is welcome to that. May peace and harmony prevail in our lodge. This meeting is adjourned, and I thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.